Hi, I'm Greg Gutfeld, along with Katie Pavlich, Harold Ford Jr., Jesse Waters, and she gives walking tours at ant farms. Dana Perino, The Five. L.A. resisting ICE with bailouts to illegals. Los Angeles County declaring a state of emergency over immigration raids, giving them the power to provide taxpayer-funded rent relief, legal services, and other goodies to those affected by recent raids. The L.A. board painting it as a real David and Goliath situation.
Up against the federal government, it feels like we're David and Goliath. We're David going against Goliath. We have entire families who are destitute because their fathers or mothers were taken from their workplaces and they have no way to pay their rent or put food on the table. I want our immigrant communities to know that we are in this emergency with them.
For months, families have been living under threat. Workers have been kidnapped from job sites, and children have been coming home to empty dinner tables.
Over in Chicago, rioters were hurling rocks at the feds after an illegal immigrant rammed a Border Patrol car. The New York Times painting the protesters like heroes, running a headline that celebrates how Chicagoans are fighting back. And J.B. Pritzker is throwing his weight behind prosecuting law enforcement.
I don't trust at all that the Trump administration is going to hold any of these people responsible. We will. We're going to call for accountability. And indeed, you know, the tables will turn someday. These people should recognize that maybe they're not going to get prosecuted today, although we're looking at doing that. But they may get prosecuted after the Trump administration for the things that they did because the statute of limitations won't have run.
But Trump says beautiful black women in Chicago are demanding the guard.
They had, in a short period of time, 4,000 murders in Chicago, and we have to listen to this man stand up and say that we're bad people. And the people of Chicago are walking around with MAGA hats. You have women, beautiful black women, walking around with MAGA hats. Please let the president in, and we don't care how he does it. These are great cities that can be fixed. I'm going to be strongly recommending, at the request of government officials, which is always nice, that you start looking at San Francisco.
BBWs, Jesse, BBWs. This is kind of amazing when you think about it. In L.A., they're using taxpayer funds to back one side to block taxpayer funds that are supporting another side. Why not just have two bureaucrats in a ring throwing money at each other?
That's what they usually do.
Yeah.
I just can't stop thinking about beautiful black women in MAGA hats. Wow. Greg, it's not an emergency when Juan has to go back to Honduras. It's not even an emergency for Juan. He got here, he can get back fine. An emergency is like a pandemic or a riot or a natural disaster. And usually both parties agree we want to stop the natural disaster, the riot, or the pandemic. But this case, one party wants to keep illegals here and the other party doesn't. We have not seen this even during COVID. We all kind of agreed that COVID needed to go away. This we haven't seen. They're setting up like mini confederacies. What is this, a foreign welfare state in the middle of California? So you can break into the country and you can just live for free in L.A. now? Is that what we're doing? You just live for free in L.A. illegally. And so this other guy in Chicago says he wants to go after ICE. If you pull immunity, then it's dangerous. That means we can go after you because you have blood on your hands. If someone dies from an illegal in a sanctuary city, you go after the mayor for wrongful death. You hit him civilly for millions of dollars. Barack Obama tried to do this with the CIA agents, and thankfully he didn't. And they did things to detainees a lot worse than what ICE is doing to people. ICE is doing what? Some bruising on the wrists? We all know what the CIA did in those detention centers. It was a lot worse.
Dana, they discovered the Bible. Why do you think that the left always uses the David and Goliath analogy when it comes to like law enforcement and people like illegals, but they never do it with, say, criminals and their victims? They never say, oh, they were outnumbered. They never do that.
That's interesting. Yeah, I did notice that they pull out David and Goliath when they feel like they want to make a point or when they're on their back foot.
Yeah.
And talk about Goliath. See, the governor of Illinois?
Oh, my God.
Goodness.
He ate Goliath.
I was going to bring up what Obama wanted to do to the intel officers who had the authority, and they were asked to do extremely difficult jobs in order to protect us, and it worked. And then he wanted to go after them afterwards. So how can you expect people, and it's just such a hard thing to ask and tell people to have to go and do. We ask our men and women to do very tough things. The law enforcement officers, they need to have confidence that the system is going to have their back. That's one of the problems they have here. This whole qualified immunity thing is a problem in New York City. It's why the cops are like, well, I don't know if I'm going to, should I actually intervene here or should I just step back? This happened a lot during the George Floyd protests when everyone was saying defund the police. And so you have a terrible slippery slope when it gets to this. And in California, they are on track to finish rebuilding the Pacific Palisades in 400 years.
Yes.
Okay, but this is the emergency that they're worried about. In 40 years, they haven't laid a single track of high-speed rail, and that they want to spend $25 million on this. I do wonder at what point they're going to realize they're not winning. There's only one way to try to solve this, which is to take President Trump up on his offer to meet.
Yeah.
Meet, convene, and see if you have a better idea on how to smooth out this system so that people who want to come here legally and operate under our laws and our system, if you have that idea, I would think he would be very open to hearing it. But they don't. They just dig in their heels.
No, you know, Harold, the good news is Mayor, what's her name? Who's Bowser? What's the...
Muriel
DC?
Bowser.
Yeah, she just said that they do have water in the hydrants for this emergency.
Karen Bass.
Karen Bass, that's it.
That one.
Couldn't remember her name.
So good to be back with you. I hope you had a
Great to see you,
great
Harold.
time. As much as could be a great time yesterday at the White House celebrating Charles.
Would you like to comment on BBWs?
Only the president can say those kinds of things. I think that what LA County is doing here is wrong. Providing financial support to people in the country illegally is not the way to go about showing objection to the hierarchy of deportations in the country. I do think that there's a legitimate argument to be made around, in some instances, and perhaps we're only seeing anecdotal evidence of this, but some of the cruelty of these apprehensions can bother people. But this is not the answer to it. I think, Dana, you raised the right point. It still eludes me why, and bothers me why the governors and mayors and cities that object to the way ICE, for that matter, federal agents being in their city, why they don't ask the president for a meeting. Why don't they seek opportunity to say, how can we find some common ground here? Because, Mr. President, you said we were going to arrest the violent ones first and get them out of here. But now that we are seemingly past some of that and involving other people, how can we do this the right way? Now, they may not agree, but this back and forth that we see, and now this ridiculous public policy proclamation from LA County, when you, to your point about the housing situation in the Palisades, not only that, the education challenges, housing challenges for everyday Angelenos, this is not the answer to this question. I give you credit for trying to come up with one, but you should shelve this one and try to get to the White House to figure out a longer-term solution.
Yeah, they got a lot of problems, Katie. Do you think that what you're seeing, it's hard to gauge what is cruel and what is not, because the Democrats have destroyed the language.
Right.
Everything is cruel. Everything is a kidnapping.
Right, when they won't condemn real kidnapping.
Yeah.
Politically, it makes no sense that at least national Democrats or those who want to be president wouldn't disarm the Trump administration by saying, you know what, you're right about crime. Nobody wants crime. We're going to work with you. And then the talking point in all these press conferences that Trump has don't have the same political impact that they would. But instead, you have people like the governor of Illinois going out and saying he's willing to prosecute ICE agents for taking out foreign criminals and gangbangers from his communities, but he's not willing to prosecute those people who are wreaking havoc on the city of Chicago in those communities. They're not willing to go after the cartels that have been operating in these cities for years and years and years. And when it comes to the things that they're talking about, you know, they use the language, as you mentioned, about they're taking people from job sites, they're kidnapping them. No, they're taking people from job sites where they are trafficking children, they're trafficking women, they're selling drugs, they're engaged in cartel activity, and they're doing it in these places where we've been told for years they're just going to make an honest living. We know that's not the truth. One of the biggest lessons of this whole thing is that the myth that illegal immigrants don't commit crimes and that it's not an issue has been completely blown out of the water. They have these stats every single week about who they're arresting, what kind of crimes they're committing, and it's not just in Chicago. It's in New York City. It's It's in California. It's in small towns all over the country. And the cartels have been running cities and countries, or counties and towns for years. And the federal government is finally now coming in to clean it up. And the best that someone like Pritzker can do, which is trying to be a leader, is say, I'm going to prosecute the ICE agents who are taking these monsters off the streets. And I just don't think that it plays well now, and it's not going to play well in the future.
There you go.
But there are people, well, we've seen the pictures, moms being thrown to the ground. I hear you, and I don't disagree with your stuff, what you said about the cartels or any of those things, but there's a better way to do this.
What's the context of the mom getting arrested?
I just can't
arrest,
imagine.
Yelling in the face of an ICE agent, having a removal order already.
But Katie, I'm not going to argue, but I can show you examples where that was not the case. I'm just saying there's a better way to do this.
You don't get to tell us how to clean up the mess you made, Harold. We'll clean it up the way we want to. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm going to listen to the BBWs. They know what's going on. Call me BBW. Up next, who's got the better beach bod, Trump or Sleepy?
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.